We'll come back to another session. We are still solving the questions of, or the tutorial questions of chapter 9. Here we are going to discuss already code or two ready classes. We need to implement them and then create a simple driver class and instantiate only the superclass. We have superclass and subclass, then only the subclass, and we need to observe what's going on. Right, so in this case, I'm going just to copy and paste these two. I'll just copy here the content of the class and let's create it. I'm going to use the same package, Java class. So the name of class A, and then class B, class A. Okay, finish. So here we're going to implement the code. We don't have to type it just to save time. And this class is done. We need to create another class, extend this class. Okay. So let me create another class in the same package, class B. All right. And in here, I will just extend class A. And then let me implement it. The implementation is just simple. We don't have to type it. We can just copy and paste this definition of the method here, or the constructor. So we have these two classes. Class A with a constructor, just displaying a statement. This is the superclass. Class B that extends class A, and the statement inside its own constructor says that this is the subclass. Now we need to create a driver class. In order for us to create such a class, we need to create a class with the main method. So let's say this is super sub demo. I'm just trying to demonstrate super sub class, and in this case we will just create a main method here, public static void main, and then we need to instantiate based on what the question is asking us. The question is asking us only to instantiate the superclass. That's good. So superclass's name is class A. We use class A, it's capital, class A. Okay, let's say object1 equals new class A, and we do not have any argument. Now, there is nothing other than this instantiation requested from us, and all we need to do is just to display. In fact, we can even ignore this part because we're not going to use the object itself. I'll prove it to you. Let me just run. So have a look. This is a superclass. Why? We just instantiated the superclass. So there is nothing related to superclass, and in this case we just get the superclass. I said earlier we don't need even to include this one since we are not going to use this object or instance. Let me show you how things will go. It's the same thing because this is an instantiation. You don't have to assign it to any reference or any instance. Well, the second thing requested from us is to instantiate only the subclass. So I commented this one out. I transferred it or changed it to a comment. Now we do the same with the subclass. We don't have to assign its object to anywhere or reference to anywhere. Let's run and see how things go. Well, now look. This is the superclass. This is the subclass. That's interesting. Why? We just have only one statement or printing statement here from where did we get this? This is a superclass. I commented this one out. The idea is like this. Whenever we have a class that extends another class, that means a subclass and a superclass, when you instantiate the subclass, like what we are doing here, the constructor of superclass will be called first. This is by default. So in order for you to modify this, you need to change it. You need to override it or cancel the whole constructor. And we will speak about this later on. But what will be called first is the superclass of the constructor of the superclass. Therefore, when you make a call or instantiate a subclass, the instance of the subclass will start executing by calling the superclass its constructor. So the superclass's constructor will be called first, then next to that the subclass's constructor. As we can see, this is the superclass's constructor, will be called first. We have the printout here, and then this is the subclass's constructor, and this is the demo. We are just instantiating the subclass. So keep this one in mind because we will be using it. All right. Modify the defined instructor class in question 1 to include a constructor that initializes both designation and experience. Based on this modified superclass, modify the subclass sang instructor to have a proper way for calling the constructor's the superclass's constructor, via which an instance of sang instructor will be generated. Create a simple driver class sang instructor demo to test the updated classes. I will leave this one for you as a practice, and if you have any problem with solving this question, please leave a comment or send me a feedback to see, or just make your iteration or whatever you can come out as a draft with your solution, and we will discuss it. The basic idea, let me just explain the basic idea. Since we need to modify it and we need a way to call the superclass's constructor, first of all, let me go to this instructor. We need to create a constructor here. So designation and experience will be provided through a constructor. That is the only thing we need to do. So how can we create a constructor? Instructor, and then we need to receive a string, assign it to designation, and receive an integer along with a string and assign it to experience. That's a constructor. Then for sang, what we need to do, we need to call this constructor first, so we need to use the keyword super. So we can create a constructor here. Initially we can call super, and we pass a string and an integer to initialize or assign values to designation and experience. Try to do it. I give you the idea. Try to do it, and I hope you will not get any trouble making it. That's enough for this session. So we move to next session later on. Have a good time. Goodbye.